Franklin County Tech School number, since they weren't able to be present for our annual town meeting.
Good evening. How are you all?
Good, how are you?
Good. If anyone wants to join, you're more than welcome, or I can move over and we can all be up here. It's try to apologize. It's kind of tight. So again, Liz Bouchard, business manager, Franklin Tech, and thank you both for joining me tonight. So I know the appointment was made because we were not able to be at the town meeting. There was a scheduling snafu. So we apologize for that, but I'm glad that we did have representation there. But I'm not sure if there was particular questions that were unanswered at the town meeting, or if you would just like me to go over our budget again. I know we've done it before, so I don't want to burden you with more budget talk if that's not what you're looking to hear.
I didn't personally have any questions. Did you guys? We also have our finance committee chair too.
I didn't have any questions about
Okay. So, but I did put some materials together for the budget, just so that you could see, I mean, truly what we're asking lately is pretty much minimum local contribution figures by the time we give back our excess and deficiency at the end of the year. The last page of your handout, it should show you the chart of our net school spending and how we are truly, really at statute for our spending limits, or our cap, our minimum cap. So we really are doing our best with all of our increases in expenses to keep our assessments to our towns as low as possible while still operating safely in our school and having the resources we need for our students and our staff. But as you can see on that chart, we're really at the minimum that we can be. So at the end of the year, we're giving back every cent of our excess and deficiency, and that's really actually starting to create a problem in that we're at that line of net school spending. So I think that chart really speaks for itself. All of the pages here will talk about our increases. I mean, there's definitely been an increase on the state side. We're all aware of that. They continue to increase the minimum local contributions. Buckland alone almost had a $1,000 per pupil increase just on your minimum local contribution without us even turning up the dial on assessments. So the state is just trying to close the gap on what you're responsible for and what they're responsible for. So I just put together some charts just showing you our revenues. You know, we had a 0.79% in Chapter 78 this year, so not great to help us offset our huge amount of expenses, health insurance being the hugest one. When I started the pro forma budget this year, we had $1 million gap to close, with health insurance being one of the biggest factors in that. So these kind of speak to all of these trends and the budget drivers. Kind of did some charts on contribution, minimum local contribution trends for Buckland specifically, so you could see how that's played out over the last 5 to 6 years. But in just, you know, as a vocational school, just the unique cost escalators that we have between industry recognized credentials for our students, varying curriculum from the state that continually changes, equipment needs. It's very expensive to operate at a vocational level. So a little different than, you know, at a comprehensive school, what we're required to provide for our students. So, but we're doing our best to really stay at that minimum ask to our towns, but I know it's just a challenge across all 19 towns this year. The schools kind of own probably close to 50% of your budget, I would imagine. So
54.
Yeah, yeah. So
Pretty close to 50.
yeah, it tends to be over 50, you know, 55 we're seeing. So we know what a struggle that is. If there's any, I know you have questions about the new school building.
Could I ask a question about the
course you can.
curriculum?
Yeah.
What courses does Smith Vocational offer that we don't offer?
So Smith Vocational has an expanded, like we have our animal science, vet science, but they have more of an agricultural program. So that's one program that we don't offer. We did put in for Skills Capital Expansion Grant to try to work on having that offering in our district. We haven't received the grant yet, but, so there's hopes even if we don't get into it on this round because we received funding for the aviation hangar. So we may not be prioritized on this round, but we'll keep pushing for that.
They also have a cabinet making too, don't
I-
they? Cabinet making shop,
They might have one. I'm not 100% sure.
I think they do. So,
But the bigger draw, though, I think, is the
For the ag
agriculture.
program, correct?
it would be in this valley, yeah.
Mhm. So, but there is a grant in the works, but
Mhm.
we haven't received award of it, but, and I don't know that we will on this round, because they may prioritize others who haven't received that funding, so most recently.
Okay, good luck.
Thank you. I don't know if there's anything either of you want to add before.
I think what he said was, that's the idea, this, we understand because we deal with this all the time. But now you're asking, coming forward to us and you want us to come up with, I can't imagine how much money a year, or 250,000 or something like that, in a town that we had to have a $500,000 override to survive.
Right.
That's where we're at.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's the sting, that's what, my dad taught in Assabet, one of the larger vocational schools around too. In fact, he was one of the first people that, when they built it, so I have a lot of respect for it, but sometimes you gotta stop. It's just, whoa, and, it's nice to expand, it's nice to offer things, but whew, it's at the expense of all the smaller towns. It's gonna wipe us out.
I mean, I know our per pupil cost is always lower,
Oh, I know.
which I'm happy to always present at our towns that we are able to maintain that. But the new school building project it's expensive. I mean, in comparison to the other projects in the pipeline with MSBA, we are the lowest, but it's still a huge amount of money, and it's gonna be a huge burden to our towns, especially when you're having overrides just for your operating expenses. So we're fully aware of that. We also know it's a 50-year-old school, and these systems are,
Younger than our high school, it's younger than our elementary school by quite a bit. I was one of the first students in the elementary school, and you can see I'm not exactly 21, so, yeah. I should have flunked him out.
The difference, though, is the OSHA requirements for the shops.
Oh, I know, I'm well aware of those. My dad taught autobody mechanics and went on to others, I'm well aware of it. And I'm aware of the smaller numbers because of the dangers that can happen in the classroom. There was 800 students in the tech school when it first opened, 800. My dad said he was still alive then, that's a dangerous number because you've got one kid fool, he took you to simple shop, he says, autobody, taking air hose and zapping the ground and some of that metal that you scraped off cars, and he said it's dangerous numbers. So I realize that, because you've got a low population, so I'm not faulting that, this is a terrible time to come up and ask for anything. That's what I'm trying to tell
I
you.
just think that it's gonna be a terrible time, no matter when this is asked.
Yeah.
I don't see things improving. I hope that they do. But I think a year from now, it's gonna be a terrible time, and I think just with the escalation in costs and construction costs, it's just, the project's gonna continue to.
Yeah, okay, so what happens now if the town opts out? I'll say Buckland, only because we're talking Buckland, opts out of the tech school. Kids wanna go, we have to pay their tuition. It's almost cheaper to pay their tuition.
So the only problem with that is there's a lottery now. So if
Yep.
there's not seats if we don't have seats.
Okay, no, just asking, yeah, okay.
So if we have enough interest in the school with our member towns, your students wouldn't be accepted, because we couldn't accept out-of-district students.
Okay.
So that's the only thing now is with the lottery, so that's new this year. So if you had asked me this last year, then we would say, well, hopefully
Yeah.
there'd be openings
I
and
know
you
that
have
the-
out-of-district.
I know the
tuition.
lottery hasn't gone over big. Yeah, in most tech schools.
So that's the one downside, is if you did
Yeah,
leave the district.
Yeah, okay,
your students wouldn't have the
just
opportunity.
something I was thinking.
Yeah,
of,
I
trying
can't
to
say
be-
they would never
I'm
have the
trying to think of,
opportunity.
yeah,
Because we may not have the demand that we have this year in years to come, and, just in projections, looking at enrollment declines, there may become a time where we can accept out of district again.
yeah.
But
I'm
in the
just
current moment, there's a wait
Using
list.
questions here that I've heard people ask and things and have experience. I taught for 45 years in the Mohawk district, and my dad being a teacher and my aunts and everything, and so I understand, and I understand when the aspect of things they went through too. So that's all I'm asking questions. Somebody may be unaware, so thank you.
Yeah, of course.
I was just thinking that, I don't think we're alone in having no ability to
Yeah,
make
yeah.
this assessment. None. It's not gonna happen. I probably could name 10 or 12 of these other small towns who are gonna be the same boat. The population in the vote on October 6th might allow this to pass, in which case we're gonna have a big mess, because we can't come up with the money. Period. And I don't think Leiden can, there's no money there. In February, the GCC, one of my colleagues asked, what's the plan for the renovation projects? Working on that.
Yep.
We asked that the last GCC meeting, what's the plan for the $70 million renovation project? What's coming online first, what's the cost, et cetera? Because I think if the vote fails, that's what you're gonna be facing.
Oh, 100%.
And so we would really like to know, what's the plan? You got those ready yet?
So, not exacts, because working with our designers now, I mean, they've come in and they've done all the planning for whether it's a renovation, in improving the space that we're currently in, or a new construction. So they have the plan in place, but that would be us going all in, all at once. Granted, it would take 5 or 6 years for the plan to upgrade the school and bring it up to code. But that is the plan, so it would be a matter of how do we stage that?
Right.
Working with our, working with the team. I'm by no means a project designer and engineer, so what would be the highest priority? Likely our electrical systems would be a high priority. Our roof would be a high priority, but with the roof would come needing a sprinkler system, and then, each,
So I guess all I'm saying
Mhm.
is, if you're expecting us to go to the polls on
Mhm.
October 6th, and we don't know what the option is,
Mhm.
that's not a good idea. Because we would really like to know, what's this plan, what's this plan? I think the voters should have a choice.
currently we know the other option to renovate the school and bring it up to code was $103 million, and that's not factoring in the soft costs of, moving the students. I mean, to replicate a welding shop, a welding program, we can't just move those students into another space for months. So it's challenging, whether we'd have to rent mobile units, mobile trailers, or just have this go through 6 years of construction, so that there's a lot of summer projects during downtime. There's a lot involved, and it's just gonna be a matter of what's prioritized. I mean, we're not necessarily saying we're deferring maintenance,
I
in
get-
just,
I get
yeah,
all of that.
yep, I know.
And we just wanted to know, what's the bill going to be for FY '28?
Mhm.
For the renovations, if I get to FY '29, FY '30, this is going out for 5 or 6 years probably. Those are discrete projects. We don't know what those are, we said we're gonna get those.
And I'm working with our team, and they continue to just go back on what they have from their engineers.
I know where the
Yep,
source is.
yep,
I just want,
yep.
where's the answer?
Oh, can I give you my personal opinion? So, we hired engineers to do a feasibility study so that the state could decide which way was the better way to go, new building or renovate. And the state early on said, new building is the better way to go. And then the renovate research stopped. So we have catching up to do. Internally, the people know what the big problems are to do, but you don't know all the secondary costs, the things that are gonna pop up. And I can't even tell you what they are. You gotta take a ceiling down and there could be a problem. The electrical gear right now, the company's equipment that's in there, they're no longer in business.
I understand.
So, I think it's pretty well, everybody agrees the electrical's number one. We also have a new maintenance supervisor he's started, right? He's already in,
Yep,
he's
he
worked
just
with Joe.
started.
So I'm curious, again, personally, his viewpoint of the roof. Can he get a little bit more life out of that so we can spread these costs out a little bit more? And we have an excellent, our maintenance supervisor that's retiring he's excellent, but we're gonna get a different set of eyes on him.
So if the vote fails, then there's a lot of scrambling to do.
Scrambling's actually already started. I think in formulating a plan. Got quotes? No, not yet. Yep.
The second big thing is, if the vote passes and 10 or 12 or 15 small towns all vote no, what do you do?
Well, these things are things that keep me up at night. I mean, honestly,
I
right?
should-
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
Join the
this
club.
is not like something that we take lightly. I mean, this is a nerve-wracking thing, for
What are we
all of
gonna
our
do?
towns. So part of our district agreement is no town can veto the majority vote.
I understand that.
But if 10 or 15 of our towns decide that they did not want to be part of the vocational school, then it's gonna be a bigger
I
conversation.
don't know about that. I'm saying, if the vote passes and we're still in the district, but we can't pay the money,
Mhm.
what do we do?
Then you would not be wanting to stay with the district and pay, because that's part of the district agreement, is you would be responsible for the capital expenses.
How does the vote work in October?
Simple majority
Simple majority.
Of all the.
of all the
prop-
voters,
Mhm.
and then each town would report out, so yeah, simple majority.
So simple, in
So it's not a
terms,
2/3
you're
vote.
just taking all the votes on all the towns that happened that day, and so the majority rules on that.
Correct.
I'm curious, how do you know, how does that work? I mean, in terms of that night, how does the numbers and all that?
So they'll be reported out, each clerk will report out their towns, what their votes
Okay.
were, and then tallied and reported out.
So you prefer to do it that way instead of each town voting, and then, like oftentimes, like Mohawk Trail, it's, the majority of the towns would pass.
You mean like
You mean
each
to
town is
keep it-
weighted
Yeah.
differently?
Isn't school
Mhm.
So you're not doing it that.
But
It-
it's in the district
It's,
agreement.
yeah, so it's just based
the-
on, it's a simple majority, the vote has to be all on the same day, all the same time, so
Okay,
separate.
thank you. Thank you for
Yeah,
clarifying.
of course.
And to come back, if it passes, and I'll say 5 towns contact the school, our new superintendent, and say, we,
Well, welcome aboard.
yeah. we-
Oh, yeah, I know.
yeah,
Yeah.
we don't have the money to pay it.
Right.
It just, that's the way it is. Then we're gonna have to have a meeting, and I'm assuming it'd be the building committee meeting, or committee, and then with the whole, school committee of what we're gonna do. Because you're coming to us as an owner of Franklin County
Mhm.
Tech, you are a partner, and you're being honest with us, we gotta cross that bridge.
Mhm.
And I don't know the answer. It'll be the first time I've ever been through it, so, yeah, hopefully the last.
And
Yeah,
the-
I
and
mean,
the-
I think seeing the burden that this is gonna put on all of these smaller towns, that if it does passes, we're not gonna have a choice but to back out of Franklin County Tech School.
and-
But I think you'd be looking at a lot of towns doing that, which in turn would potentially set the tech school up to default on its bond. Because now you don't have all of these towns paying that
Right.
share because they've all backed
Oh,
out.
right,
Yeah.
and you can't put the share on the other towns that remain.
Yep.
Correct.
And we don't want that for your students either, or your families,
Yeah.
right? We
Yeah.
want,
I
we want
mean,
the
we
tech to
don't
be
want
your
it either.
district, yeah,
you know,
yeah.
You don't wanna do it, but
Right.
your job is to take care of your
Yeah,
town.
Yeah.
we,
Yeah.
I think we're gonna be left with, we're not gonna have the choice. Like Larry had said, we had just passed a $500,000 override this year just to get us through this year.
Just for your
You know,
operating.
yeah, we have,
expenses, yeah.
We
you know,
weren't sleeping for a while.
Yeah, no, I mean, we're,
I
a lot-
understand
19
where you're
towns, so
coming
I,
from.
yeah.
we floated in a little bit of wiggle room, but come next year, that wiggle room's gone again.
Yep.
So,
If this was a debt excluded capital item, 30 years, 200, whatever it's called, 200,
$43,000.
no. That's gonna be an override every year for 30 years. And that ain't gonna work.
No.
So, it's a big deal problem.
mhm.
Huge deal.
I don't know how we can help you navigate this. We'd love to.
appreciate
I think you're up against, when people figure out this is what's gonna happen, I don't think they know yet.
Mhm.
When they figure out what's gonna happen, I think we're gonna have that conversation.
Mhm.
So,
Mhm.
I hope it happens well before October sixth,
Mhm.
so we don't have this morning surprise
Yeah.
on October seventh.
Yeah, yeah.
So we gotta have a plan in place, I think, to
Mhm.
deal with
Yep.
reality.
Yep. And they're not willing to give us any more reimbursement. We've asked them at every single opportunity and every single meeting. They told us we were lucky to have locked in last year. So reimbursement rates are not gonna increase. And I think they're only gonna decrease in the future because the project costs are so expensive. So they're either gonna take on less projects or give less reimbursement. So.
I know you have a
the-
very strong lobby in education schools. And I think one of the side angle options is to really put the arm on them, help you get through this scenario that's coming up, because it's gonna be ugly.
Mhm.
I don't want you to get screwed, so.
And we want to be here for our towns and have a vocational school in your district,
Well,
so,
we're-
I
yeah.
mean, you know,
You've already heard us.
that's, yeah.
We
you
want
know,
the tech school
so
there, but
Yeah.
we don't want the expense right now. We can't,
Yeah.
we cannot accept it.
don't think-
It's not gonna happen, so.
No.
So I think the way Larry, you put,
Mm-hmm.
I was
that
curious,
Larry.
Can you accept charitable contributions?
We have, if you do receive contributions or donations, then you have to claim them and they reduce their reimbursement. So even when we go for our IRA rebates or any of the Mass Save Green
Of course they
Initiative,
do.
we have to then.
Keep your 249 million in your pocket, Larry.
So, but if you get a charitable, yes, if you get a donation of that size, then I guess we don't have to worry about the reimbursement rates. So you do have to,
I've always wondered going forward strategically, whether
Yeah.
you could form alliances with airplane makers,
Mhm.
engine companies, people with foundation money, big pockets.
And we do have those alliances, and we do receive donations that really do help our programs, you know, but not of that size and of that nature.
And if you did, then it would count against your reimbursement.
Correct. But if you, like you said, if it was a, you know,
It
a
was a big enough
sizable,
one, you'd do it,
you know,
yeah.
yeah, but you have to claim everything, and then they'll reduce it. There's a whole formula and template. So even when we go for our, you know, our IRA rebates, if they still exist, if we did get the building, that'll come off the top, you know, so.
So,
Yeah, it's,
unfair question to ask you. So the direction we go is to renovate the school. Your town can afford that
Well, that was.
much better.
but
why I've
that's
been
what he's
pushing
wanting
for
to
the
know,
number.
that piece,
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
how does
yeah.
that
As
staged?
soon as that comes, we
Yeah.
can have the conversation.
Right.
Yeah, if we could space it out
It's
as long as
phased out.
possible.
If we do a phased
Easier.
renovation project,
Mhm.
where we take this much a year, you know, we just,
Yeah.
I
we
mean,
don't have any data.
Yep.
Mhm.
It's a struggle.
We're trying to pull that together. I
As soon as
mean,
you can.
I'm just no expert, so I can piece together some of the numbers, which we've tried to do, but it's, you know, what's the highest priority? I mean, definitely our electrical switchgear, but then that's underground in parts, so then you're tearing up floor spaces, and if you're tearing up the floor space, you're dealing with the plumbing at the same time. There's just,
I'm sure we've all dealt with renovations where there's been a surprise,
Mm-hmm.
and the cost doesn't go up, or it doesn't go down, it goes up. I mean, I was personally frustrated that when the state, you know, made their decision that a new building made more sense, that the research on renovating kind of stopped.
Yeah.
They stopped doing it, they went full bore into a brand-new school.
And of course, the state's gonna make that recommendation. You
Yeah,
know,
and
that's-
I'm like, that's not good.
Yeah,
I mean, we need
no.
that other information.
Well, that's why we had you here. You know, just with that, I know you brought nice stuff, and I appreciate it. I will look them all over, but we really felt like coming from the heart. We gotta tell you how we feel.
yeah,
Mhm.
you
Oh,
know?
yeah.
appreciate that, though.
We do, we appreciate it, and like your comments, that's excellent.
Yeah.
I'm glad that I came to hear that, so, yep, so.
So
Yeah.
the sooner we get some data.
Yeah.
Well, outside of the
Because we'd
data
love
that
to
we're,
swallow a $70 million
Yeah.
project.
I mean, I-
More than a
yeah.
236.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
the data I continue to get is the 103 million and the soft, you know, so that's, so it's, I need the staging.
It's
Yep.
gonna be staged.
Yeah, oh, yeah,
I don't know, what can we pay for in FY
yes,
28?
yep, and, right,
Mhm.
Yeah,
FY
yeah.
29,
Yep.
FY 30,
Yep,
FY
yep.
5
Mhm.
sequentially.
yeah,
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 So our kids stay in school.
yes.
yeah,
Because it is a good school.
yeah, and it's your school.
It is,
It's-
exactly.
Yeah,
Was there also, I know at one of the meetings, we talked about, someone had mentioned that MSBA wasn't willing to provide any sort of reimbursement for things like windows or roofs, where Mohawk, I guess that had
So-
happened. So was there
They
any
do,
more?
so they did provide us, we did an accelerated repair project, so that's the capital cost that you see, for a windows and doors, project. So, that did occur, but when they came to visit the school, when we entered our statement of interest, not we had, didn't enter it, but, when Mr. Martin did, years ago, they determined that we weren't eligible for another accelerated repair, that it needed to be a core project because of just all the systems being end of life, aging systems, so they weren't willing to reimburse on a,
I think it's,
Fifty-year-old school.
I think it's willing to ask them though, if it's voted down or
Mm-hmm.
it's voted in and many towns start opting out, would they relook?
that
that.
scenario.
I think that's the
Yeah,
question,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
the question.
And the worst they can say is no.
No.
So,
Yep.
yeah.
If you get Paul Market, you'll come for, from a local pressure
Mhm.
point,
Mhm.
get some people from the other parts of the state,
Mhm.
vocational,
Mhm.
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 there's some pressure there.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of money in Beacon Hill anyway, whatever we get.
I wondered where it all went.
Well, or if they would just start funding education, chapter 70 funding at the level they should, it may free up some funds for
Yeah.
when things like this come about,
That would be
right?
fantastic
So,
too.
so it's
Oh,
like,
yeah.
one or the other.
Yeah.
That-
So
that would-
really,
It's
that's,
the second bottle of wine.
yeah,
Yeah.
so if they could just fix that.
That'd be the big one, Ouija, I would be gone if
But
that
that's
happens.
what's crippling our towns, right?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
crippling our
Oh,
towns. I
true.
mean,
It's true.
we
Yeah.
go to all the town meetings and it's universal, and it's not just in rural Massachusetts. I mean, we don't receive any rural aid at Franklin Tech.
Right,
It makes
Right.
no sense.
but no tech school does,
Right, but that's, I mean, that's where the true problem lies.
right.
Over the next couple of years, you're gonna start seeing more and more towns feeling the pinch. I mean, ours started this year. And
Oh, it's-
there's other towns that have started this year.
Yep.
And, you know, as the years go on, you're gonna start seeing more and more. And it's just, something's gotta give here at some point, so. You know, we're into the needs now and not the wants anymore. And being able to take care of them.
I mean, we feel that
Yeah.
as a district too. I mean, it's.
Time to
it's the
consolidate
same.
all
It's-
of your
it's all-
shop programs and have them, you know, teach them how to build a school maybe.
I love that
Yeah.
idea.
Yeah.
I love that idea.
Yeah.
There's some kind of laws that would be broken doing that.
Yeah, yeah.
I still like it, yeah.
Listen, you
Everything.
ask for forgiveness at that
Yeah.
point. So, all right, you guys don't have anything
No,
else?
thank you for coming and thank you
Thank you
for
for
listening
coming in.
to how we
Thanks for
feel.
having
Yeah.
us.
And Larry Langford, you know, as I said, probably, you know, remember the name Larry Langford, bug him on our
But
financial.
I bug others too,
Yeah.
because I
Yeah,
really
yeah,
need.
yeah, please, that's what I'm saying, keep
The
him,
exacts you're looking for.
keep him in
Yeah.
touch too, Larry, if you would, add it,
Yeah.
would keep him in
Yeah.
touch and,
And we have our next committee meeting tomorrow night, actually, so if
Yeah.
anything pops up that needs to get relayed on, I'll bring it, and I think we're talking about the vote a little bit, I think that's on
Yeah.
the agenda, so
Yep.
Yeah.
some more details around that.
Okay. I think we officially have our project scope and budget agreement, so, you know, it's like.
Thank you.
It's
All right,
Thank you
fast
so much.
moving, but
Thanks-
at the
thanks
same
for
time.
listening.
Yeah,
Thanks for
no,
listening.
thank you for having us. We
Thank you.
appreciate it.
thank you, Larry.
Nope.
at 5:30,
I don't see Laura here yet.
like Laura's here yet. So I guess we can maybe start tackling our agenda items.
Okay.
While we give her a few extra minutes. Our first agenda item is we have our annual reorganization of the select board. So, I spent a few years as a chair.
Yes, you have.
You've done a great job.
I'm willing to stay, but I'm also willing to take a break.
Okay.
If there's any interest.
Oh,
So-
Joan.
Oh, yes,
So-
I've so enjoyed, and learned a lot from you, Clint, but I'd like to try.
All right, well, and I'd be more than happy to let you.
Unless Larry, did
Oh,
you?
no, I have enough trouble just, with my life.
So I would make a motion to appoint Joan Livingston as the chair for the coming fiscal year.
I'll second that.
Okay, any further? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right.
How about a vice chair? Do you still want to do a vice chair?
Sure, because just, you know, it
In
was,
Joan's absence, have
Yeah, keep,
somebody else.
Whatever.
keep Clint there. I would
Mary's
nominate
really
Clint.
trying to
No,
unload
seriously, just to keep with that,
responsibilities.
because, I'm gonna be 80 in a few years,
yeah.
and we still keep this young.
So you
Not
got a few
really.
years left, is what I'm hearing.
Okay, I'm still nominating Clint for the vice chair.
I second that.
Okay, any further? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Any others? No?
I don't think so. Unless you want to create some
Larry-
positions.
Larry can be Larry for the next.
I just want to be regular Larry.
All right. All right, well, thank you, Joan.
Thank you.
I think she'll do fine. You will too, so.
Would you like to take over now? Or do
No,
you
no,
wanna
no,
start?
it's at the,
Okay,
You want
Good
to
try.
starting in the fiscal year.
try.
Okay, got it.
Good try, Clint.
July.
hey, I tried.
Yeah, you
July.
did.
our first meeting in July.
Can't fault me for trying. So we have our post-election discussion regarding plans for a special town meeting. You know, because our annual wasn't enough, we gotta move in. But because the school budget has passed all of the other towns except ours and Coleraine, we will need to have a special town meeting prior to August first, to allocate the funds for the school.
The operating expenses, right? No, that's.
About
right.
the schools,
Yeah, the
both
school's budget.
Franklin Tech
Yeah.
and Mohawk
Yeah,
were
yes,
defeated at annual
Yep.
town meeting, so.
yeah.
So it looks like at this point, we are looking at a potential for July 21st. I'm not sure where that would fit into your guys' schedule, but I will be away that day.
That's why you picked it.
No,
I did not
actually.
pick- I did
it
not
didn't have
actually
anything
pick
to
this
do with
one.
picking it. We were actually shooting,
This
thinking
was-
August
seriously, yes.
until
Oh,
I had a chat with our treasurer to find out when the school bills are actually due, and in fact, they're due in August.
I think
so.
that's fine.
July 21st, that's
Does
fine.
that work for everybody?
Sure.
And it also works for our moderator, so,
Oh, good, okay.
I'll confirm with her.
July 21st.
Yeah.
What time?
We'll have to check with Phoebe on that. I think
Okay.
typically we shoot for what, 6? I think we did the last special town meeting, I believe. So we'll probably shoot for that, but I'll confirm.
And we'll
at
have
our
it
next-
here,
and-
correct.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we'll have to open that warrant at our next meeting.
You probably should open it tonight, so it's open. Because I'm gonna have to start working on putting the articles together for your next
Okay.
meeting.
I will move to open the special town meeting warrant for a potential of, we have a close date warrant.
It can actually open and close on the same night, so we would probably close it at your next meeting.
All right, I will move to open the warrant for the special town meeting.
I second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Yes, I saw that. I saw that.
We saw you, so we will move on to our 5:30 appointment. We have a candidate for the first Franklin State Representative. We have Laura Wondolowski. If you'd like to,
Yeah, do you want me to sit
yep,
up at
if you
the
could,
dais?
that's.
Back to everybody, which is not.
But
that's
for the
hot seat.
microphone, so.
It's
But
For the
everybody at
microphone
home-
for people at
Oh,
home.
yeah,
Yeah,
so
we-
people at home can't hear you over
Cameras
there.
and so forth.
No, I'm used to this, believe me. So thank you all for the opportunity to
address you. My name is Laura Wondolowski, and I'm running for state representative for the 1st Franklin District. And glad to be in Buckland. I remember the last time I was in this hall, I was taking a group of leaders from Leadership Pioneer Valley as part of our work to engage leaders and have them understand our communities. And we many years did walking tours and had some conversations up in town hall, as well as, Mike McCusker walked us around, as well as lots of folks. But I'm running because 23 years ago, I moved to Franklin County when I was looking for somewhere that was affordable, had a walkable downtown and rural character, and again, that I could afford with my family. We settled in Greenfield, and we're really lucky to find a house, and that's really not the case anymore for young families. We're getting priced out, and everything that's happening around the country and the work that I've done in Greenfield compelled me to step up. I've been talking to people across this district, and I continue to hear stories about rising costs of healthcare. I know it's probably on your minds every time you're working on budgets, and looking at health insurance just keeps growing up and going up, and we don't have much wiggle room in our budgets to do anything else like a potholes or road maintenance because of health insurance rising. Worries about school budgets and lack of housing. As a city councilor, I've struggled with tough choices on budgets, and I'm running because Franklin County towns deserve a voice on Beacon Hill that understands the challenges that are facing our select boards and town administrators, and can lead with creativity and collaboration to get results. Experience matters, but so does courage. I'm running to build what comes next. Our district deserves leadership that listens to today's challenges and builds tomorrow's opportunities. And these times call for leaders who are unifiers. I've seen the really great work that Representative Blais, Senator Comerford, Senator Mark out here have really done to bring attention to rural issues. And we need more voices. We need a bigger choir. I've worked with folks all across the Commonwealth as well as across this district, and want to see where we have common ground with Truro and Plymouth, Springfield, to have more people speaking out for issues like schools, budgets, housing. We need to keep raising the temperature because we're not getting paid attention to. Starting to, but again, I stepped into public service 4 years ago when the former mayor of Greenfield slashed the school budgets in a way that was going to cut staffing as well as really important music and arts programs. I had 2 kids in the public school at the time, and one of them was a theater kid, and so that was a really important part of their life. I joined with neighbors and others to advocate for money for the schools, and we were able to successfully, through the city council, get more money for schools. Then 3 years ago, when a seat opened up in my precinct, I was sitting on my porch, reading the paper, and saw that Doug Mayo was stepping down, and there was a voice that I didn't expect saying, you should do that. You should step up and run. There was the other voice that said, what are you, crazy? You're like a busy, single working mom. You've got a pretty busy job. Do you really want to take that on at a time that our city council was pretty contentious? I'm really proud of the work that I've done. I've been on the city council. This is now my 3rd year and my 2nd year being president. And I've really worked to bring people together. Kind of learned that if you go to People's Pint after your meeting and share some stories over some food, you get a little bit more done. So we've worked really well together to get more money for schools, to get us onto the group insurance commission, which is going to save us about $1 million in the coming year. And we found a lot of common ground that way. I'm not new to the State House, so I ran a statewide environmental advocacy organization called the Massachusetts League of Environmental Voters And there, we held legislators accountable for their votes on the environment, or the lack thereof. And I learned how the building works. I'm someone who's worked from the outside to push for change from the inside. I'm here to listen, and I think a lot of the solutions are right here in the room. You all know what you need in your communities, and I'm someone who's gonna fight for school funding, fight for housing, both more housing available that fits in our rural character, as well as making sure it's affordable, and then fighting for farms and the environment. Those are my top priorities. But together, we need stronger voices, and I will come into the State House as someone who understands town issues, having been on the city council. I know we're in the big city in Greenfield, but it's not really that much bigger at the end of the day. So I'd love to continue the conversation, and I want to just sit and listen to what you all are talking about tonight. So thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. All right, back to our agenda. We have we have some line item transfers for the fiscal year 2026.
And this is just a few that we're aware of at this point. There will definitely be probably a few more as we close out the fiscal year, but we're trying to stay on top of them, so that we're not in the negative in accounts.
You got 5 of them here.
I think so. Yep. Yep, I can walk you through them. The first one, this is for we'd be transferring $12,000 from the office assistant line item to the assessing clerk line item. This is basically Elizabeth has been doing work as more than just the assessing clerk. She stepped up when we've had our big transition a year ago, and so going forward, some of her pay will be coming from the office assistant line. Some will continue to come as clerk. She'll be doing 8 hours a week as assessing clerk. So that line item has become negative. So we're looking to do that transfer. In the office assistant line item, there's over $21,000 left. So that's gonna be more than ample.
So we'll start with that one.
Do you want to do them all at the
we'll
end?
just go.
I'll just review them, or do you want to go?
We can go one by one.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to approve that line item
I'll
transfer.
second that.
For $12,000.
And just to let you know, finance met last night and also have approved all of these. So.
Any further? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, the next one. So our general accounting line item is over, not by a whole lot, but we're gonna take, to replace that funding, we're gonna take $123.42 from the tax collector / treasurer general account to put into general accounting. And the reason general accounting is over is we had to do some additional training this year because we have a new accountant, so those education expenses tipped us over. So the first part to cover is going to be taken from that account, and we'll do the next one on the next, taking it from 2 different accounts.
Motion to approve the $123.42.
I second that.
Any further? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And the second half is $447.39. We're gonna take that out of what's left in the accounting software line item, which will bring that line to 0.
Make a motion to approve the $447.49.
I'll second that.
Any further? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
The next one is the landfill maintenance and testing line item is over by $6,156.25. We're asking that come from the reserve fund. This is due to the PFAS testing that we were required to do, and when we found that it tested positive, we were required to do a lot more reporting to DEP that required additional costs.
Could be a lot more.
Yep.
Make a motion to approve, $6,156.25.
I'll second that.
Further, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And the last one is our tax title account.
I haven't actually done transfers that may be refundable in the revolving account. I didn't realize this was on tonight's agenda.
In the revolving account?
We're not doing all of them tonight. This is just
This-
the ones that were.
So we approve the revolving account for tax title fees, and if they come back each year, we're allowed to put that back in.
Oh, okay, so we don't have to, yeah, we can
Take that
pause.
one till
Yeah, sure.
next one now, and I'll have that done.
Absolutely,
Good idea.
absolutely. I was gonna say, we're usually over on this one,
Oh, we're
so.
definitely gonna be over, I just don't know if it's.
How,
quite
how
this
far?
month.
Okay,
We're
so
definitely
we
gonna
will
be
wait
over.
on that one
Until our next meeting.
for the next meeting.
Excellent.
Glad you were here tonight, Kara.
Yeah.
It was on Alicia's list, so, we will wait. Perfect.
All right. Okay, our last agenda item is the Mass DOT's 25% submittal for the,
So
No,
so
for,
letter,
okay.
item D, we're gonna wait till the next meeting. That was
Okey-doke.
of the appointments to various boards and committees. I'm still
Excellent.
checking with people to see if
Still-
they're willing to.
still working on
Serve.
those.
That'll be
Okey-doke.
your business then, young lady.
No, it'll still be
Oh,
you
still
guys.
get, oh, still gonna get them,
Not till-
okay.
Not till
Not till
next fiscal year.
July.
Sit next meeting. So our last agenda item is the Mass DOT's 25% submittal for the Route 112 Ashfield Road project, to update and vote, from our conversation from our last meeting. So I did meet with Mass DOT, and I did bring up the, the questions that we did have, in regards to continuing the sidewalk, along the opposite side from the high school up to East Buckland Road. After speaking with them, they were able to, explain kind of in further detail that where they have it crossing, that section there is the only place where there's enough line of sight for a crosswalk. They also provided the chart that they have to follow through the federal guidelines, which made it 675 feet of line of sight for it. So I do have the, because it's considered a 45-mile-per-hour road, falling under their avoidance maneuver C, which was speed, path, and direction change on a rural road. So with that, it comes out to the 675-foot line of sight. So East Buckland Road, it was only, what was it, it was 300 and,
91?
yeah, it was just under 400 feet for line of sight, no matter kind of where you tried to shift that there. So that was one issue with keeping the sidewalk on that side of the road. The other issue would have been along with drainage along the edge of the field. There would have also had to have been some sort of retaining wall, which would have also increased the cost estimate for the project as well, because they would have had to put some sort of retaining wall there to protect the sidewalk if it were to continue along the edge of the field. So trying to do that type of mitigation, it wasn't gonna be feasible for the project. So with that, we kind of switched gears and moved over to the bike lanes, and talked to them about going from, what was it, a 6-foot bike lane to a 4-foot. And after some quite a bit of discussion on that. I think I finally was able to at least get them to concede down to 5 foot for each bike lane. And that was as low as they were gonna be able to go for, because of the federal mandates that they're falling under, because a lot of this is federal funding. You know, because I had brought up, along with, I'm drawing Beth from the FERCog, both of our arguments were some of the other bike lanes that tend to be popping up are 2 to 3 feet. One being in Hatfield, that I drive through every single day. And they didn't believe me until we pulled it up on Google Maps. And they were kind of surprised that that it even, I guess they were even put in.
Well, I kind of think District 1 might have got a
Yeah.
phone call after
Yeah,
that meeting.
yeah, I think we might have thrown some flags on that. But they basically said that that shouldn't have even happened down there, because the minimum is 5 feet. So, at least with that being said, coming out of that meeting, we were able to get the project shrunk down by 2 feet by taking a foot off of each bike lane.
Are you talking about also having the 2-foot buffer and just the 5 feet?
Yes.
So that's 5 plus 2, so it's 7 feet.
So, how did he word that, Pam? I can't remember what.
I believe it was just the bike lane itself would be shrinking to 5 and the buffer
Correct.
was remaining.
Yeah.
The overall change in width was 2 feet
Yes.
total.
So total change in overall width of the whole project would be 2 feet. So, did you guys have anything else? I mean, I know I was the only one in on that meeting with the engineers. But I know you met with them prior to. So, Larry, did you have any other
No.
questions on it? All right. So, with that, we're not doing no more comments on any of this tonight. This is just us coming to our final decision on it. So with that being said, I think with the findings that I have, I would make a motion to approve Mass DOT's project minus the 2 feet for the bike lanes, but keeping the sidewalk to the rec.
I second that.
Okay. Any further discussion?
I mean, I think the big issue here, and when I met with those engineers, with Pam and I, is really safety.
Safety.
Mm-hmm.
Safety for those who use the road, who bike along the road, who might walk or even, use a wheelchair. And I know this is a change for the Bartletts, having this sidewalk in front of their house, and I understand that. But I have to consider the whole town. And safety and visibility is a big part of this.
I agree, which is why I came to that same conclusion. Any further?
I've had that conclusion from the beginning. Yeah, that was all done for safety by the state, yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. We have our minutes from May 26th. We'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
Second that?
Any further? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you, Mary. We have our vendor and payroll warrants, 26-25. I'll make a motion to approve both vendor and payroll warrants.
I'll second that.
Further? In favor?
Aye.
We have a street use permit, request for the summer day on the Buckland Common. That is to be on, that July 18th? I'm guessing that it's July 18th?
Yes,
Okay.
yes. And also to put the sign out in front by the flagpole from July 4th to the date of the event. It will be a small sandwich style within the zoning regs.
Mhm.
Kind of like where the one for the, what is it out there now? The Historical Society's
Mhm.
high. Yes.
Okay. No road closures or anything like that?
They're gonna work with the police on that. I spoke with Pat Schmidt today and asked her to reach out. I've sent this to Greg. I
Okay.
haven't received it back. But I told her to reach out to Chief Bardwell and make sure that he is on
Okay.
board with whatever they need to do. Cause I know in the past there was an issue because there was a charge.
Mhm.
There were charges for coverage because I think they had to have the sheriff's
Right.
department come. So I wanted her to speak with him directly on
Okay.
that.
I will make a motion to allow the select board chair to sign an approval pending approval by the police chief.
I'll second that. Yep.
Any further? All in favor? Aye.
We did also receive, the 4th of July permit came in literally 10 minutes after I had put the agenda together. So I'm not sure if you'd like to entertain that for this
Yeah.
evening.
Yeah.
No, why not?
It's the usual 4th of July kickoff at 11 on Conway Street, starting at noon, proceed down Conway onto Ashfield,
Mhm.
usual,
Their normal route.
and then ending at the school at 12:30.
I'll make a motion to allow the select board to sign the parade use for the 4th of July parade.
Second that.
Further? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
That was it for,
Samantha Bodine. Library. Yep, appointment for the
Yep.
library.
That's the next item on documents to
Okay,
sign.
yeah, it's still there, okay.
Yeah, we're still there.
we have a letter of hire for Samantha Bodine for the director of the Buckland Public Library.
Yep. So we were told that she applied and they're very excited. The library trustees interviewed her and, she's recently moved into the area, has a tremendous amount of experience, was very beloved in her last library. And so now that we know that the override has passed and the library has funding, they had, offered her that position contingent upon that and contingent upon the board tonight agreeing that they will go with their recommendation.
For a July 3rd start date. Okay. Well, I'm sure the Buckland Library the trustees did their due diligence on that. So I will make a motion to support the letter of hire for Samantha Bodine for the director of the Buckland Public Library.
She couldn't make it tonight, but she does plan to attend one of your next meetings.
I second it.
Okay. Any further? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Good, I'm glad they found somebody.
Mhm.
Alright, I have nothing for 48 hours. Select board member concerns?
No.
Town administrator's report.
Okay, so we were awarded Mass DOT unpaved roads equipment purchase grant in the amount of $171,128. This is going to allow us to purchase a new tractor for maintaining our dirt roads, and it's gonna have the attachments so we can retire the York rake that is pretty much held together with baling twine.
Yes.
I know, nothing. It's really good stuff, but no, but no, Anthony's very excited. This was really a really welcome award to receive because we
Yeah,
definitely
it
need
is.
that.
Was that your handiwork?
It was my very first grant application.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
One for
And
one. I like
one
it.
for one. We'll see.
You just gotta.
I know. Now they've
Gotta-
jinxed it.
Gotta maintain that 100%.
But I did write another one last week, so you probably just jinxed it. One thing, so the transfer station, the 4th of July is on a Saturday this year. And Mehdi, because he's very proactive, came to me and said he did not want to work on the 4th of July, which I said, of course not, Mehdi. But he and Chris would be happy to work on Friday instead. So I just wanted to clear it with the board and make sure you didn't have any other thoughts on
I
that.
think that's a good idea, yeah, if they're willing to do it, because,
Yeah, no, they're happy to do that, so,
Maybe just get a sign hung up or
yeah,
something.
we'll
for up there
we'll
for
put out a
people.
code red.
yeah, okay, yeah.
So that's one other thing. I did just apply for another one-stop grant for Phase 3 of Charlemont Road. This, we tried last year and were not successful. That was because Heather was leaving. It didn't happen, so we tried again, and that's another grant that we desperately could use. Thanks, Laura. Yeah, it's just the cat. So we should hear about that in September, but we did get a great deal of feedback from residents, a lot of letters of support. I had gone out there with the engineer a month ago. It obviously isn't any better than it was the year before. And, you know, we can only do about less than a mile at a time for $1 million. So
Which I think we kind of figured it was probably 2 more rounds.
Probably. And missing last year, like, we kind of
We're kinking it.
lost that momentum a little
Yeah.
bit. But anyway, we're trying again. Last meeting, Christian, our downtown coordinator, was here, talking about filing a one-stop grant for the MDI, Mass Downtown Initiative. Unfortunately, pretty much the next day, the cost estimates came in for that little tiny Riverview Park, which was gonna have a very small pavilion, a bike rack, some plantings. The price tag came in estimated at $836,956.
Come
The grant
on.
is $250,000. So we've decided,
About as big
Do
as
they
this
have like
room, Al.
gold plated or what?
I think a lot of it, there's some bank stabilization from an
Ah.
engineering perspective that had to happen. So in any event, I don't think he's very enthusiastic still, and I think that's wonderful, but we're gonna have to do a little more, I think, fundraising, thinking outside the box, coming up with some other plans. Yeah,
Wow.
it's just crazy. So, anyway, that's my update.
But I'm wondering, didn't the park there, wasn't it the Franklin Tech students built
That
it
was the
before?
plan this time as well,
Okay.
was to reach out to Franklin Tech for the
Right.
actual construction. The cost, even taking that out of it, was still upwards of 600 and something
That's
thousand
ridiculous.
dollars. Yeah.
Wow.
Yep. So,
That wall's been there a long time, so I'm sure there's probably something behind it.
Something.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah, there will be a surprise.
but anyway, so
I mean, I
it's
wouldn't
not,
think
it's not a done deal. That's not gonna happen. It's just, we're gonna have to
Yeah.
pivot a little bit.
Yeah. Excellent.
Yeah,
Okay.
and but I've got to say, he was amazing. He really got a lot of stuff pulled together in a very short time, and it was very, very great effort on his part, for sure.
I agree.
Definitely.
That's it.
That's it for now, yep.
Public comment.
So I would like to say that regarding the 112 project, that April 16th was the design hearing. That's the first time that anybody in town was given any kind of details about the project in terms of where the sidewalk would be, where drainage would be, how far it would be between grass and grass. There were no visual images given to us that helped us understand what it would look like. And we still have not been given any visual images to help us understand what this would look like. That was April 16th. The 28th, I came to this board and I told you about the project, and Pam gave you a review of the history of the project. May 12th, you had a select board meeting and there were a bunch of people that were here that had a variety of opinions, and comments were accepted. May 26th, there was no comments, and tonight there's no comments. It has been an exceedingly abbreviated discussion for a project that is going to affect our town for decades. It is really a big deal, and it is being rushed, and I'm not the only one who feels it.
It's 10 years in the making. 10 years in the
Larry,
making.
it's more than 10 years.
Yes.
I have a letter from my in-laws who wrote
Yes.
about the project in
We're
2013.
not gonna argue
No,
about it.
no, we're not to
Yeah.
argue.
Well, I was interrupted and given information that I agreed with. The point is that no details were given until April 16th, 2026. People didn't have an opportunity, it's one thing to say, oh, sure, I want a sidewalk. It's another to see how the sidewalk is gonna fit in, how the sidewalk and the bike lanes are gonna fit into the community. And that has not been done even tonight. We still don't know what it's going to look like. If we built a school, if we built a home, then we would want to see some rendering of what it was gonna look like. I don't understand why building a road in our community doesn't merit having an image given to us of what it would look like. The Department of Transportation is a public agency that is supposed to go and serve the people. And when they rush the people and don't give them information until the very last moment, and even now, they gave Clint information last week. Great, but the public hasn't gotten it, and we still don't have an idea of what it's gonna look like. So I am not here tonight to say that the project should happen my way or somebody else's way. I think there needs to be more public discussion. And since you referenced the federal guidelines, Clint, I will say that there are federal guidelines which Will Glabus said to me they're supposed to follow. I read from public involvement, planning public involvement and its role in project development. Acting in accord with basic democratic principles means that public involvement is more than simply following legislation and regulations. In a democratic society, people have opportunities to debate issues, frame alternative solutions, and affect final decisions in ways that respect the roles of decision makers. Knowledge is the basis of such participation. The public needs to know details about a plan or project to evaluate its importance or anticipated costs and benefits. There's more that says that kind of thing, and that has not happened. That's what I'm saying we need. And you made a vote tonight, and it's a vote that I think is exceedingly premature, because you and the town have not received enough time or information to really understand what this project means and to see what it looks like. For example, there's permanent easements that, according to the documents downstairs that they gave us, according to those documents, 2 different easements, permanent easements, are being taken on our land, and yet in the summary that you wrote, I think in that one, it said that only the only permanent easement happening is one over by Rand Road, and they didn't specify, but I assume they meant the north end of Rand Road. So, as far as I know, according to the documents they gave us, I've got 2 permanent easements on my land, and now they say, actually, no, by inference, I don't have permanent easements, but I don't have any documentation, that there's not been good communication about what's happening with this. They have permanent easements according to those documents on Mohawk land. Can they just take permanent easements from a regionally agreed upon piece of land? Have you talked with a lawyer? Do you know that that's possible?
Yes, they can.
Okay, they just come in and they say,
Mhm.
and so all the other towns, okay, so that's good, but that's not something that I, as a townsperson, know, because they never explained it. And when they put their visual image up, and yet none of you were at the design hearing, they put up an image of what one section of road would look like, but the section was totally digitized. It was not really our land, I mean, Buckland's land. And it had, you know, distances put all over it, so you didn't get a feel for what it would actually look like. That just matters. What it looks like matters. And people need to, yes, safety matters, but the other thing that's not been made clear to people is that they are increasing the grass to grass by, from 32 feet to 49. They're increasing it by 17 feet. They didn't tell you grass to grass. You asked it, you're shaking your head, Joan. And you didn't ask for grass to grass. You asked for the entire width. And what he told you was 38 plus 5.5. Well, that's not including the 4-foot waterway. And that's not including the 1.5 feet of the gold line. And it's not including the extra 6 inches that they said are gonna be in front of presumably our house. I mean, that's, the point is, there's a lot of information, and what has been told to me by another DOT engineer that works in a different part of the state is that when you have, and actually it's also on the Federal Highway website, which I can get you that, when you have wide open spaces, people drive faster. So they've got their speed reduction happening right by the crosswalk, but they don't have anything between the Buckland Rec and that crosswalk. So when people go past the Buckland Rec and they have got all of a sudden an extra 17 feet of paved expanse, they're gonna go faster. That's what the DOT engineer said, and that's what the Federal Highway article said, is that people go faster. So they have not done traffic calming down there, and they won't get it until, the traffic calming won't happen until those cars go from the wreck around the corner at Mary's, and then, so that then they can see up ahead that there's a crosswalk in another, I don't know how many feet it is between Mary's and this crosswalk. It's, I don't know, 500 feet, 600, no, it's probably like 700 feet. And that's only if the lights are flashing there. If it's at night or when school is out, then people are gonna be able to go fast. And I'm not here to persuade you one way or the other about whether there should be a sidewalk or how wide the thing should be. I'm here to say that we're rushing this decision. And we, the town, you, the select board, are here to make a decision that's gonna impact our town for decades. And you don't have to rush. We are the ones driving the bus. And yes, we need to go according to state laws and federal laws, absolutely. But that doesn't mean we have to rush through this. And I really feel strongly enough about this that I will be contacting the Inspector General, because they are violating the federal laws that say, this is what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to have these conversations with the people. And they have not done that. And you all, when you decline comment and we don't have any meetings to discuss the information that we have been given, you're impeding conversations also. So I don't feel like I have any recourse, if this matters to me, for the town, except to say, all right, well, I'll go talk to the Inspector General. And I am not the only one who has concern about that. Senator Mark's office has concerns about the decision-making process here. So that's what I'm left with, and so that's what I wanted to give you the information about that.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you.
Any other public comment? Okay. Our next select board meeting will be June 23rd, 2026, here at 5 p.m. And following that will be July July 14th. 14th and then July 28th. Both at 5 PM here. Any other announcements, Pam, that you can?
No, not that I'm aware
I
of.
do actually have a question. Do you have updated information on the permanent easements that according to the papers?
In my hands right now, no.
Have you been given updated information on that? Okay, so you voted to support something that we don't actually understand what the current plans are? Is that accurate?
We had to actually vote for them then to go back, and now they have to change their plans on it. So that's what they will be doing. So when I spoke with them about, and they said that they would be able to take those 2 feet out, I'm assuming that's what you're talking about?
No, I'm talking about the permanent easement on those plans that has taken both permanent and temporary easements on the land across the road from us. They have it down there. They thought they had access to take a whole big hunk of it. How many feet? I don't remember, but it was a lot more than 2 feet. I've got it right here if you wanna see it on my phone. And we told them, well, that land's in APR, so you'll need to go through APR. And they said, oh, no, it's not. And we said, well, it is. And now they recognize that it is. So that's an example of them.
Okay. Well, that's what they will have to do then. If it's an APR, then that's gonna be up to them to go through all of that process.
Well, so you voted to support something that we don't know.
They're gonna have to follow whatever guidelines that are there. Okay, whatever guidelines that are gonna be put upon that, so if they have to go through APR, because it's APR land, they're going to have to do that, and they're responsible for doing that. And that's their job to do. All right, I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second that.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you, and have a good evening.
Can I see the chart?